Hello.
What is it, Tundo?
It would seem that a lot of important positions are occupied by female dwarves in the Firstling Kingdom.
Is it not common where you come from that men and women share the duties?
Of course. Among the humans and the secondlings, the women help out in the house so that the men have time for their duties. That's how it is written in the books, too.
Here, posts are assigned according to the skills of the applicant, not gender. It's only natural that the most important posts are occupied by women.
She winks at you and gives you a knowing glance, although the whole thing still befuddles you.
What is it like living with the Firstlings? I haven't seen much yet, but many things seem to be different to life with the Secondlings in Ogre's Death.
I can't make any real comparisons either. I grew up here and have never left our kingdom. I can hardly wait to see the halls of the Fiflings. They were the best smiths before we took on the mantle.
Don't expect too much. Their halls have been in the hands of the enemy for over 1,000 cycles.
I read that the orcs avoid the stronghold, as if there were a curse on it.
Even reading doesn't seem to be frowned upon among the Firstlings. You feel at home here. But that isn't only down to the books.
See you later.
The second dwarf stronghold you have ever seen also impresses you greatly. The Firstling stronghold is very different to Ogre's Death, but you'd rather not say which you prefer.
Ah, Tungdil. I was wondering when you would pay me a visit.
I thank you, and Jeroen, you appeared at the right moment. May I, ask why?
It was down to you. Your speech about the responsibility I owe to my realm. Lot Yonan was a good teacher.
Her face darkens when she thinks of her old companion.
There are 100 reasons that Nodon deserves to die. That is why I went back to the Secondlings and took another look through the books. I discovered a passage that said Keenfire can only take its effect against evil when it is wielded by a foe of the Undergrounders.
A foe of the Undergrounders? It's going to be difficult to persuade an orc to help us.
I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I think I might have an answer to the problem. The Alpha are also your foes, aren't they?
What the...
Half human, half elf. My mother bequeathed me her gifts and her weapons. I got very little from my father, but his eyes are an advantage.
And you're sure that only a foe of the Undergrounders can use Keenfire?
Anyone can use it like a normal axe, but only a foe of the Undergrounders can command its magical powers. I don't know much about her, but a half-elf should pass as a foe of all dwarves.
All right then. You will wield Keenfire in the battle against Nodon. But we're going to have to make it first.
You said it.
The actress takes her leave with a little nod.
How are things with Jeroen? Could you help him?
He's doing well. He should be back to full strength after some rest.
You still don't know what kind of being is hidden under the armor, but the Mager's powers seem to have done a good job.
The Firstlings have offered to improve his armor, and when one of the best smiths in Girdlegard offers something like that, you should definitely take them up on it.
How are you and your powers? You look a little exhausted.
I won't lie to you. It has already been too long since I was in a place where I can draw new strength. My power is trickling away like water from a leaky pipe.
Is that perhaps a way to weaken Nodon?
No, I wouldn't count on that. Even if we could keep him away from the magical realms, the being that lives within him has given him unknown powers.
How was Syntheras able to overcome your shield? Can Alfar use magic?
No, certainly not. I don't know much about their people, but I think they have innate powers. Conjuring darkness, extinguishing fire, changing dreams. Little things that fill humans with fear and ensure the potency of terrifying legends about their people. Syntherast used a trick, not a spell. We killed 2 Alfar near Sovereignstone. They had crystals on them which they had received from Nod On to protect them from the spells of the Magi. He must have used a stone like that.
Take some rest. And I hope you'll still be here at dawn.
The Mager gives you a reproachful look.
Don't worry. We'll stand by you until this expedition has reached its destination.
It feels good having the Mager and her companion at your side again.
Namora, may I speak with you? I was wondering how you ended up being an actress with Rodario and Fergus.
I have seen many places and done many things that I would like to forget. For a long time, I didn't know what to do with my life. But then I met Fergus. There are no secrets between us. I have never had to pretend with him. He introduced me to Rodario, and I feared the worst, but he was delighted. He immediately wrote me into a new play.
That sounds like Rodario. Your parents, relationships between humans and Alfar is uncommon.
My mother brought me up on her own. I don't know what happened to my father.
You look at her compassionately. Namora notices your expression and shrugs her shoulders.
I never knew him, so I don't miss him.
You don't believe her. You never got to know your parents either. But you still miss them even though Lot Yonan raised you.
This might be a strange question, but do you sometimes wish...
That I wasn't half elf? Of course I've thought about it. But what's the point? This is how I was born, how I am, and it's something I can't change. And well, perhaps it might now serve some benefit for the first time. My heritage could be the key to saving Girdlegard.
See you later.
It is simply legendary. No, it is mythical. We definitely need a large theatre so we can convey the impression of this grandeur to the spectators.
It's going to be difficult, but we'll manage it. But it will be more expensive.
It would appear you like it here.
Ha! Like it? It is fabulous! I almost feel like giving up. Not even the best of illusions could possibly imitate this. But say, what brings you to us, Tungdil?
Why didn't you say that Namora is half-elf?
If our spectators knew, they would run away screaming. So I'm sure you'll understand that we couldn't tell a group of armed dwarves either.
You have to admit that you don't know how you would have reacted if Namora had revealed herself in Mifadania. Fear and hatred of the Alpha is deeply rooted.
You already know her, Tungdil. She has skills, but her lineage does not determine how she thinks and acts. She is the love of my life, and I would go crazy if I were to lose her.
Every step from here on is more dangerous than the last. Are you sure you want to continue on our journey with us?
Of course. Every story needs an end. What kind of play would it be without a third act?
There is no way I'm going to let Namora ride into battle on her own. I will be there to assist her.
And how is your new play coming along?
Good, very good. The band of adventurers who set off to defeat Nodon, aided by the Queen of the Dwarves from the Kingdom of the Firstlings. It's going to be a real challenge to present this story in all its greatness.
Do you already have a title?
I haven't decided for sure yet, but at the moment I'm thinking along the lines of the heroic dwarves and their loyal companions who opposed Nodon despite all the challenges to destroy him and save Girdlegard.
I must go. Rest now.
Rest? Haven't you seen? There are machines that keep the whole city alive. I must take a look.
Tungdil.
How is he?
He's lost a hell of a lot of blood.
The crazy glint in Boindale's eyes has given way to serious concern.
I'm doing fine. You must rest, brother. Stay on your back so the wounds can heal. Fortunately, he hasn't lost his pig-headedness. As long as he has that, he'll come through.
Boindale forces a grin, but you can imagine what he's really thinking and feeling.
I thought Andakai was going to look after him. Didn't her magic help?
We don't want her help. Magic is no use. And we certainly don't want anything to do with Samerson.
You know there is no point arguing with the twins about magic. There is too much of a fine line between conviction and stubbornness. Boindale would rather die than be healed by the Maga.
We'll have to go on without him. He won't manage more than 100 paces without dropping down dead the state he's in.
No! I'll manage, Scholar. Just give me 2 orbits, then I'll be fine. It's just a scratch.
Boindale tries to stand up, but he doesn't have the strength. You shake your head.
Stay here and recover, Boindale. We'll meet you again in time for the big battle against Nodon. You have done your bit.
But where one of us is, the other is too. It is the greatest deed that has ever been carried out by our people. Oh. It would seem you are right, Scholar.
We'll be separated for the first time in our lives. I will miss you by my side in battle. The first 100 runts will be for you.
You will have to protect him and the others on your own now, brother. Don't take on too much, and rein in your frenzy. You must control your anger better than you usually do. Promise me.
I promise.
Tears run down the bearded cheeks of the two twins. They have never had to part like this before.
I've gathered all of the metal we need for Keenfire. I'm ready to depart.
You nod and then look her solemnly in the eyes.
Once we set off, stay in the background, keep out of fights, and avoid all danger.
The female dwarf's expression darkens.
Shall we engage in a trial fight, Mr. Dwarf?
No, Bifracus. No, I know that female dwarves can fight. It's because of the axe. You're the only one who can forge it. If something happens to you, we won't be able to stop Nodon.
The face of the smith relaxes, and then a smile appears on her lips.
I can look after myself.
Greetings, Queen Zamtis.
The queen bows her head slightly, prompting you to speak.
Please excuse me for asking, Your Highness, but How is it that a queen is sitting on the firstling throne?
The Queen smiles. She has clearly been expecting the question.
It began with an argument. My father valued my mother's advice, but disputed her ability to lead the kingdom. This frustrated her, and she demanded the chance to prove the contrary. In the end, they agreed that my mother would govern the firstlings for 14 orbits. And during this time, there was an attack by trolls, and my mother put them to flight with cunning and bravery. When my father demanded the throne again, she defied him, and the clans followed her. The other kingdoms were appalled and refused to receive my mother, but our kingdom saw that she was a good queen. And when she died 230 cycles ago, the people demanded that I should follow her onto the throne.
Is everything ready for our journey to the kingdom of the Fiflings?
We have provided wagons for you and your companions. Are your preparations complete?
Yes, we are ready.
The Queen nods slowly.
Rally your companions. I will march east with my host, but don't be misled. The fate of the perished land is in your hands, not mine. May you succeed and return unhurt. Vrakas be with you.
The plains of Tabain are the most fertile in Girdlegard, and rightly give the kingdom its nickname of the breadbasket. The east of the land has been in revolt since the perished land advanced, and the peace seems to have broken in the heartland too, as a group of strangers crawl out of a hole in the ground.
Why don't we just look for a tunnel that hasn't collapsed?
And what if we don't find one? If we're overground, we at least know that there's a way, even if it's dangerous. Let's go.
Rudeka is, contrary to what the name suggests, a large city. If Rodario is to be believed, more than 70,000 people live here, a number that you find it hard to even imagine. But while you walk through the streets, you don't doubt that it's the truth. Never before have you seen such huge masses of people.
If we are looking for somewhere to quench our thirst or for a roof over our heads, then I would recommend the Golden Well Tavern. And we can find everything we need for the rest of our journey at the big market. Just say where you want to go, Tungdil, and I'll show you the way.
The big market at the city's south gate certainly lives up to its name. You have never seen a market on such a scale. Stands, large and small, as far as the eye can see. Everything you could possibly need can be found here, as well as plenty of things that seem to have no use at all. While you push your way through the crowd to get to the trader Rodario wants to introduce to you, you overhear two peasants talking about elves.
No, I tell ya, it was elves. Pale skin, pointy ears.
Yeah, something strange is going on these days. Old Trundlewood from down Acrehill way said he saw some pointy ears too. Come to think of it, where's he been all week?
Here we are.
Rodario's sudden announcement draws your attention away from the locals to the tent that you're now standing in front of.
Welcome to Brand's Potpourri. Whatever your heart may desire, I can supply.
You follow Rodario through the lively streets until he reaches a run-down two-story building. You hope that this dump isn't the tavern that Rodario recommends. You prepare yourself for the worst, but the inside of the tavern surprises you all. The walls are clad with dark, finely ornamented wood. The floor is clean, The tables are weighed down with good food, and a hot fire is burning in the fireplace. One should never judge a book by its cover. The guests look you over full of curiosity, and many nod a greeting. The haggard woman behind the bar greets you loudly.
Redario, you old rogue! What are you doing here? And you got dwarves with you! I don't see one my whole life and then several come along in the same month.
We are on an important mission, Madame Flore, and could do with a place to stay the night.
Redario introduces you and negotiates a good price for a few beds and a night's lodgings.
Sorry for asking, but you said you'd seen some other dwarves recently.
You're thinking of Gandagar's group and wonder whether they might have reached the kingdom of the Fifthlings already.
Yes, a nice bloke from the west. Paid for his room for a month in advance and then disappeared. Travelling lights.
The landlady's expression darkens.
That was 3 weeks ago. If he doesn't come back soon, I'll have to release the room.
You give Namora a sign and sneak onto the first floor. The half-elf appears moments later. To your surprise, she has Balandis with her, who must have caught something of what was said.
I want to know who the dwarf who is sneaking around here is. Perhaps he belongs to Gandagar's group.
After apologizing to various guests for intruding, you are left with just one untried door. Namora picks the lock, and you enter the room unseen. The room is bigger than all the rooms in the tavern you have seen so far, and all just for one guest. There are maps, various pieces of notepaper, and 3 notebooks on the table. The notes are partly written in Dwarvish and partly in the language of humans. The 3 of you scan through them until Balandis draws your attention to a map on which the route from the kingdom of the Firstlings to the kingdom of the Fifthlings is marked.
What would make a firstling travel to the perished land, or even to the kingdom of the Fifthlings?
You believe you've found an explanation.
Here, this letter. I have found a way, but I don't know if I will return safely with Star Slasher. That's why I leave to you, dear Barris, my notes, may you, and so on.
Star Slasher?
You have come across this name in the notes a few times already, but you just shrug your shoulders and throw the letter back onto the table in disappointment. You had hoped to have found out some news on the whereabouts of the other group.
A sword. Apparently it was given to Giselbert Ironeye by a caravan travelling from the other lands. It seems we're dealing with a treasure hunter.
The long marches over flat country are wearing you down. To distract yourself, you join Boindil.
How about a joke?
Oh, do you know the one about the orc and the dwarf, scholar?
You shake your head.
So, an orc comes up to a dwarf and says,
Look out, we're not alone.
Before you can prepare yourselves for an ambush, a small figure is already at your side.
I finally found you again. You have to help me.
You immediately recognize the dark-haired female, Geralda, who attacked you in Wayan. Your companions draw their weapons.
I'm not here to fight. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, but you have to help me. There's an Alfar camp in the area, and they're experimenting on dwarves.
To emphasize her words, she holds up some bones that are ornamented with carvings.
By Vracus, if the Alpha are experimenting on dwarves, we can't just ignore it. We have to free the prisoners. We can't save the world if we ignore the suffering right in front of our eyes. We will help Geralda.
Boandal and the others accept your decision. Geralda nods at you gratefully. When you reach Acrehill, there isn't a single villager in sight. An uneasy feeling creeps over you, which finally turns into certainty when you see red paintings on the walls of the houses.
Alpha.
As expected, you don't find any survivors, but there are also no undead. The perished land has not yet advanced this far. You discover some footprints on the northern edge of the village.
It was orcs. Looks as though they waited here while the pointy ears wreaked havoc in the village. It seems like they moved on towards the north.
The pictures, painted in blood, tell the horrifying story of how the Alfar came to the village and killed the inhabitants. You also find a few elaborately carved bones, some larger ones, like those of humans, some smaller and stronger, like those of dwarves. When you reach the other end of the village, disgust is written in the faces of your companions. None of you says a word. You gather all the bones you can find together and burn them. You wash over the paintings with water from the well. You weren't able to prevent this gruesome incident, but you don't want to leave a single trace of it behind.
Ooh, do you smell that? Come! Oink, oink!
Without even waiting for you, Boindil runs over the hill and disappears behind it. You follow him, and as you reach the brow, you see a very strange scene before you.
I told you you shouldn't touch them.
But I was hungry.
He put up a fight! Who's next?
And again!
Disappointing.
He actually put up a fight!
Yes?
Vile creature! Killed! Vile creature!
What is it?
Oink, oink, little piggies!
And again!
What do you need?
He actually put up a fight! Who's next?
That was good training. Fought well and yet lost.
Yes?
That was good training.
And what now? He hardly put up a fight!
Yes.
What is it?
What is it?
Vile creature!
Ow!
Yes?
Hey! I am Bowen
Yes.
Give
Fought
me a
well and yet lost.
And again!
Hey, can someone help me?
Killed!
And what now?
What is it?
Vile creature! Killed!
What is it?
Vile creature!
Who's next? Ow! Hey!
What do you need? Disappointing.
And what now? And what now?
Yes?
And again! Vile creature!
I want to die.
Oink, oink, little piggies! Oink, oink, little piggies!
Killed!
And what now? Ow! Hey! He hardly put up a fight! Who's next?
Huh? Killed!
Oink, oink, little piggies!
At once! Understood. Uh-huh.
Who's next? What is it?
Oink, oink, little piggies!
I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, soon!
On my way. Yes?
Who's next? Who's next?
Huh?
Kill!
I'm not that quick!
Huh? Vile creature!
He hardly put up a fight! What is it?
Kill! At once!
The chaotic battle between the orcs, the undead, and you comes to the best possible conclusion. No one else is standing but you. You decide to have a little look around. The closer you get to the murky pool, the worse it stinks of decay and death. At first you thought it was only dirty water, but for as much as you can make out through the gloom, it seems almost black and has wondrous streaks. You discover a file that looks like the one Geralda carries with her. Before you can get a proper look at it, Geralda is suddenly standing next to you, and she wrenches it out of your hand. She turns it back and forth excitedly, but then disappointment spreads across her face. The container is empty. Without a word, she goes back to examining the surroundings. You tremble at the thought that you could end up the same way. You hope that one of your companions would have sympathy with you if you were to die in the perished land. It's a map of the surroundings. Not far from your current position is a place clearly marked with a red cross. Is it another orc camp, or even the Alfar camp? You mark the place on your own map. With the probable location of another camp up your sleeve, you continue on your way. You walk through the villages that once blossomed, but are now deserted due to the advance of the parish land. The colour has drained away from the wood of many of the houses, just as it has from the countryside itself. A carpet of withered plants rustles and crackles under your feet. You don't know if the parish land can ever be driven away again, and even if it can, it is questionable whether people will ever live here again. You sigh, and try to drive these dark thoughts away from your mind. Geralda struggles to keep pace all day, and when you see her struggling, you give the order to set up camp for the night earlier than usual.
Are you all right?
The female dwarf looks ill, and as she's aware of the fact, she doesn't even try to make excuses.
The potion! It's finished! I need more of it!
She looks at you imploringly, as if you could help her. Over the next few days, Geralda's condition grows increasingly worse. She begins to shiver, and more than once you catch her muttering to herself and glancing at Andakai surreptitiously. The Mager claims she does not know what kind of potion it is and why Geralda might need it. You believe her, but you also notice that Andakai doesn't really seem interested in finding a solution to the problem either. You reach the place that was marked on the Orc's map, and judging by the sight you are presented with, there is no doubt. This is where the Alfar did their experiments.
Dwarves! Oh, how glad I am to finally see members of my own race again. How glad I am to see anyone at all who doesn't want to kill me.
We're here to save you. We've heard that Alfar are experimenting on dwarves. Where are the others?
I am the last one.
There's me too.
You? Ah! So you escaped? Oh, I should have known it.
You're the firstling who set off into the kingdom of the Fithlings to find the sword Star Slasher, aren't you?
Yes, that's true. Kasdur Roughblade is the name, but how did you know that?
We found your notes in the Golden Well. We were hoping to find you alive.
I'm grateful. I was hoping that someone would find them in the worst case, and that I was successful. I found the sword and was on my way back from the kingdom of the Fiflings when the Alfar surprised me. They came in the night, and I had no chance to even defend myself. The next morning I woke up in this cage. They wanted to do the same to me as they'd done to her.
Kasdur nods in Geralda's direction.
But they didn't get round to that.
You and Geralda, you know each other?
She was already here when I arrived. The Alpha did experiments on her. They fed her with a tincture from this device, and then it was as if she was a doll. She had to follow their orders. They trained her in battle, and she could do Alpha magic. I swear it. But the last time, something was different. She fought against the orders of the Alpha, beheaded one of them in the end. She set me and the other prisoners free and ran away in the chaos. The Alpha recaptured all of us, apart from her.
Where are the Alpha? Oh, forget it. Huh?
Yes?
Killed!
What is it?
What do you need?
He hardly put up a fight.
And again! Kill!
What is it?
Vile creature! Huh? Yes?
Ha ha! I'm with you!
What is it?
On my way. At once.
Plan.
Who's next? Ha ha! Who's next?
Kill!
He hardly put up a fight! And what now?
Yes?
What is it?
Vile creature!
Fought well and yet lost. What is it?
Huh?
What do you need?
And what now? He hardly put up a fight!
I was expecting more of a battle. Fought well and yet lost.
Yes? On my way.
I was expecting more of a battle. That was good training. What is it?
Who's next?
I was hoping never to see a single Shadowmare again after Greenglade.
Good job, there was two of them then! Ha!
Let's have a look around. Maybe there are more survivors, or we might find out something about the potion that Geralda needs.
A rucksack containing everything needed for a few days in the wilderness and an exotic-looking sword.
The danger is over. Once and for all.
Now the horror finally comes to an end.
The elf has been beheaded. He is dead. And even the perished land won't be able to make him rise again.
But that's him. I remember now. He forced me to drink a potion. That's what gave me my powers. I killed him and ran away.
On closer inspection, you see a small rolled-up note in the elf's hand.
A recipe. If I had to guess, probably for Geralda's potion.
You have no idea what to do with the various devices and ingredients, but it should be easy for Andakai, as an experienced mager and alchemist, to brew Geralda's potion. You don't wish to spend the night amongst the dead, so you set up camp a little way off. You decipher the recipe for Geralda's potion together with Andakai and Namora.
All in all, the equipment and the process is not hard to understand, despite being a little strange. And the ingredients take some getting used to, even for me. This black water and elf blood, for example.
Is this what gives Geralda her powers?
Andakai nods.
It gives her powers and makes her dangerous. What will she do if the potion runs out and she is driven to madness by thirst? She could force me to brew more and more of the potion for her and find a way to supply the elf blood that is needed for it.
Andakai's gaze pierces you.
I can mix a poison that looks just like her potion. She trusts you, Tungdil. If you give it to her, she will drink it, and we will remove an uncontrollable danger from Girdlegard.
You can't bring yourself to say it, but you have to agree with the Mager. You glance at the floor, and a brief nod follows.
And we should destroy the recipe. This should never happen again.
Without another word, Andakai gets to work. After 2 hours, the Mager is finished and comes to you. She's carrying 2 phials that look just like the one Geralda has.
The phial on the right is the potion. The one on the left is the poison.
Andakai gives you the 2 phials.
Decide wisely.
Before you can say anything, she has already turned away and is marching at a swift pace towards Jeroen.
Tungdil, is the potion ready?
You only just managed to hide the phials from Geralda.
Sure, here's the potion. We followed the recipe to the word.
You pass Geralda the poison. She takes it with thanks, opens the lid, and takes several greedy swigs.
Thank you, Tungdil. What would I do without... Ugh. What is that? It's burning. You've poisoned me.
I'm sorry. There's no other choice. You are too much of a danger.
You're just like the others. I curse you. Oh.
With a last pained scream, Geralda collapses in front of you. When the others come, you leave them to wonder what has happened. Did you do the right thing?
She's dead. Take her away.
Jeroen follows Andakai's orders immediately. The Mager takes you by the shoulder and pulls you aside.
Good decision, Tungdil. One has to be able to make tough decisions as a leader, and you have done so today.
As night falls, you find yourselves on a hot mountain face covered in sharp crags. You would favor pretty much anywhere else to spend the night, but it is too dark to go any further. You are woken in the middle of the night by Boindle.
Scholar, can you smell it? There are piggies nearby.
You sniff deeply, but don't smell anything but the stench of sulphur. But you do see something moving in the shadows and are immediately wide awake. Now you've got me interested.
And again. Kill. Vile creature.
And what now?
And again.
What is it?
Oink, oink, little piggies!
Now you've got me interested.
Who's next? He hardly put up a fight.
And I didn't even take off my
And
gloves.
what now?
What is it?
Who's next?
Now you've got me interested.
Huh?
What is it? Huh? I'm with you. And what now?
Now you've got me interested.
Yes? Huh?
I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Yes?
What is it?
What is it?
And what now?
Kill.
What a waste of time.
And again. Huh?
Now you've got me interested.
Huh?
All right.
Of course.
If I have to. Not a bad idea. If I
I'm with
have
you.
to. All
Of
right.
course. I'm
Not a
with
bad
you.
idea.
Kill. Vile creature.
He hardly put up a fight.
If I
Of
have
course. What is it? Who's next?
And again.
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Yes?
And what now?
After the battle, you finally have time to catch your breath. You check the others one by one to see how they are. Bavragor seems out of it and is staggering with every step he takes.
Bavragor, are you all right?
Agonizingly slowly, he turns to face you. Blood is flowing from his mouth and through his beard.
I made a mistake.
All strength slips from his body and he falls forward. An arrow is protruding from his back.
Andakai, Bavragor has been hit!
You immediately rush towards him. Balandis, next to you, takes his hand.
Too late. The arrow was poisoned. I could feel it. I hadn't planned to return to the kingdom of the Secondlings, but I did at least want to complete my task to die in glory.
You won't die, Bavragor. Andakai, can't you?
You turn to the Maga, but one look at her face robs you of all hope. She shakes her head imperceptibly.
We are in the perished land, aren't we? Let me die. then I can at least complete my task. My defiance will be stronger than the urge to do evil.
Before you can object, Boindil lays a hand on your shoulder.
You know yourself how stubborn we are, Scholar. We should grant him his wish. If he turns on us, then I will take care of him myself.
You've heard about dead dwarves on expeditions in the Perish Land defying the bloodlust for many days. But you want to find a better way. Bavragor's breathing is becoming shallower, until it finally stops completely. While Balandis is still sobbing next to you, the stonemason rises suddenly. His face is pale and his eyes seem empty.
Even death can't stop me. I told you, my defiance is stronger.
None of you really know what to say, and finally Bavragor compels you to continue your journey. You can see the inner conflict in the stonemason's face, and you don't know how long he can resist it. You continue on your way with an uneasy feeling. Bavragor has assured you that everything is all right, but since he came back, he has kept himself apart from the rest of the group. You decide to talk to him during your hike.
Are you really all right?
I feel nothing, Tungdil. I don't feel my body anymore, and my head is strangely empty. I hate things that I used to love, and things that I hated.
He glances at Boindil.
I would like to rip into shreds and devour.
You had no idea that it is so bad. On one hand, you feel an unspeakable pain seeing your companion in this state. On the other hand, you are afraid that he could attack one of you, and you hate being so afraid of Bavragor.
Hey, Mega, tell your henchman he shall look after me. If I do things I shouldn't do, he is to stop me.
Everyone has stopped in their tracks, and are all staring at the stonemason. Andakai is the first to free herself from the tense torpor, and with a nod, Jeroen follows the orders, and from that point he doesn't leave Bavragor's side. You finally reach the place where Keenfire will take on form, the stronghold of the Fifthlings with the hottest forge in Girdlegard, Dragonfire. This is where evil first entered Girdlegard, a disgrace for the dwarves, who were given the task of protecting it by Vrachus. Since then, the Perish Land has spread. Alfar and orcs have invaded, and the elves almost eradicated. But you have decided to face up to the evil. You will forge Keenfire and stop Nodon, or die trying. You enter the old stronghold with determination.
Whoa! The Fifthlings really knew how to build a stronghold!
And we're probably the first dwarves in 1,000 cycles to enter these halls.
Come on, you beasts! I may be the last, but I will take at least 4 dozen more of you down with me!
Gundagar! Hold on, my king!
Oh, there's a surprise! Is there some courage hidden inside the little gem cutter after all?
Come on, let's help Gandagar.
That'll be safe, will it?
Now you've got me interested.
Meet your...
What is it?
Yeah. And what now?
What is it?
Want me to do?
me interested. No chance.
And what now? It's finally over.
Yes?
I don't care what that. Give me a hand.
What is it?
Ow!
Hey!
Die! He hardly put up a fight!
Help! Ha! I got one. Hey!
Kill! I can't do this on my own!
And what now?
What is it?
Now you've got me interested. And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Who's next?
Yeah. Ha! I got one.
What is it?
Yes.
Do you think it's smart? Just let him die over here?
Vile creature! Make
What do
your
you
do!
want me to do? Is it finally over?
Hope dies.
Yeah. My king, you're alive. Oh.
Tungdil! I would have never have thought I'd be so happy to see you again. You seem to have fared better than we.
What happened to you? Where are the others?
They are dead. Only I remain.
Your learned tongue refuses to do its job. You consider how it was you who sent these people to their ruin. You don't see any accusation in Gandagar's expression, just grief and determination.
And now that you are here, I carry the hope that their sacrifice was not in vain.
In a few short words, you give account of everything that has happened to you on your way to the kingdom of the Fifthlings. Gandagar listens silently and nods now and then.
You have done well. You appear to be a better leader than I expected, Tungdil Goldhand.
I don't know. Half the time I was advised what to do next.
It is our destiny to follow the untrodden path. Leaders take one step after the other. They never stand still. And if you look back and ask yourself, what if, you will never find the courage to take another step.
We have to get to the forge. Let's forget our contest and work together.
I agree. We have seen the spread of the perished lands, and the beasts of Tion wanted us to keep away from this place. Maybe there is some truth in your story about Keenfire.
You tense your shoulders and strengthen the grip on your weapon.
Let's find out.
Not so fast, groundlings.
Are you going to stop us, little man?
Even greater armies haven't been able to stop us.
An evil grin spreads across the Famulous's face.
Oh, I know. But how about this?
Finally, a real challenge! Everyone else keep your hands off it! Understood?
Now you've got me interested.
Oh!
What do you need? Sure.
Aye?
Now you've got me interested.
What is it? Do you think it's smart? Just letting me die over here?
I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Well and yet lost. That was good training.
Who falls? Magic takes time. At your service.
Not well and yet lost. Yes?
They're hitting me pretty hard!
How about
I need help over here, quickly! They're hitting me pretty hard! I need help over here, quickly! They're hitting me pretty hard! I need help over here, quickly!
What is it?
Your demise was inevitable.
Do you think it's smart? Just letting me die over here?
bad idea.
What do you need?
What is it?
Yes?
Please wait a moment. I can't do that yet.
At your service.
Waste of time.
Please wait a moment.
Good trading.
Killed.
Die.
And again.
I was expecting more of a battle.
Vile creature.
That was good trading. What is it?
Now you've got me interested. Magic takes time. I'll tell you when I'm ready.
At your service. Die.
Fought well and yet lost.
At your service.
What do you need?
Yes?
What is it? What is it? What do you need?
Now you've got me interested.
What is it?
I can't do that yet.
At your service.
Hey, can someone help me? Okay, this is starting to get too
Now
much.
you've got me interested. What a waste of time.
Vile creature.
At your service.
Yes?
Yes?
Now you've got me interested.
Huh?
At your
Can
service.
someone help me?
No chance.
Okay, this is starting to get too much. And I didn't even take off my gloves. Hey, how about some help?
Now you've got me interested.
Sammy's here. This is the
At your service.
Yes?
Fall.
Please wait a moment.
Another victory. Die.
Yaha! Killed.
Your demise was inevitable. Die.
Huh? And again.
Oh.
Vile creature. Yes? I can't do that yet. And again. Killed. Vile creature. And again.
Tungdil, let's hope that was the last obstacle on the path to your victory.
I've already said it once, but I will say it again. I don't want the throne, and I never did. All I care about is saving Girdlegard. If I don't manage, make sure that Keenfire is forged, and promise me that you will work with Namora and Keenfire against Nodon.
Gandagar bows his head.
By Vracus and Giselbert Ironeye, in whose kingdom we now stand, I swear I will not rest until Nodon is dead. But you will be by my side.